I shoved my hand in a pile of baby vomit yesterday.
Quite the opener.
I didn't know it. Baby was...
Yeah, I didn't think you were just like, hey, this is what I should wash it. This might make good the hand lotion.
Yeah, the baby was asleep in the pack and play in the bedroom. I was not in the bedroom, but the baby was crying, so I was like, I'm going to go get that baby. And it was dark in there. You know, you can make out the baby shape.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll pick up my baby. What's the matter? And as I put my hand down underneath her head, it was just very cold and wet. And gooey. It was gooey. And she had a big bottle before she lay down, and she popped that right back up, apparently. It was easily 5 times as much barf as she's ever made before.
Now, have you laughed at perhaps siblings who have barfy babies?
No, I don't mock. I don't mock barfy babies.
Have you been amused by barfy babies?
Yeah, I love it. I love a baby. I love a smiling baby that when they're like, it just, the waterfall of barf comes out. I find that consistently hilarious.
Yeah, see, I also did, and then we had a barfy baby. And so I think that was karma.
She's not a barfy baby in general. She's really calm, really good. But yeah, I just really plopped my hand straight down in her giant barf pile last night. Had to do a whole outfit change. It wasn't good.
Welcome to Parenthood. Just mystery substances always on your hands.
It's not that bad.
Everything you own is sticky now.
Everything has a slight stain on it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that doesn't have a slight stain on it.
Yeah, I remember like a lot of just eventually accepting that like all my clothes had barf stains.
Yeah.
You get through it.
It's fine. I mean, who sees me? You. That's it. I go home.
Yeah. So, aside from barf, which I guess that's on trend right now, baby barf is on trend, we're talking about Shopify's trends report for 2022, the future of commerce, they called it. And these trends reports for various places pop up every year. Some pique my interest, some don't. This one is exhaustive. It's big.
It's real big. It's a big boy.
It is impressive. It's broken into logistics, retail, and e-commerce. And so we're just going to scratch the surface on the highlights from just the e-commerce report. But what was your impression? What did you think?
I feel like a lot of the stuff we've been hinting towards was vindicated, which I liked.
Yeah, I like anything that agrees with me.
Yeah, it told me I was right.
Oh,
which is my favorite thing in the world. Now, a lot of it was like, it's very wide ranging. So like, if you really want to sit down and eat a little info meal, it's really something you could sit down with because it's going into social shopping, shoppable videos on TikTok, how to like dealing with physical retail spaces, all that sort of stuff. So you could hit everything. We're only going to kind of be hitting your on-site Shopify store type stuff in this podcast. But
that's usually what we talk about.
Because that's what we talk about. That's what we know. That's what our focus is. But there is if you're someone who has more than that going on, there is a wealth of information for you in this report, which I assume Kurt will share the secret link for in the show notes.
Yeah, I mean, if you search Shopify Future of Commerce, you'll find this immediately. But I will link to the broader report and directly to the e-commerce section in the show notes.
Yeah.
So you can have that.
So yeah, basically the one sentence summary is due to the vast amount of competition in the direct-to-consumer space and the downfall of cooking and tracking people via Facebook,
the rise of privacy.
The rise of privacy, the downfall of online tracking means that the most important way to survive is going to be building up your brand and brand loyalty to maximize customer lifetime value so you don't have to fight over these crumbs of new customers you'll be able to access.
So as I'm I need to get less reliant on pay-per-click ads and move toward what, content and community?
Content and community, yes. And loyalty and I don't know. This kind of comes later on when they're talking about it, but something I thought was interesting was have a flagship product that you push everywhere. That flagship product is on marketplaces, put it on Amazon, put it in stores if you can, get it in front of as many faces as possible, and use the flagship product pretty much as your new customer marketing. And then people buy that out in the world, and that gives you the entry point to pull them into your brand circle of reoccurring customers. And then you have more products that you are personally selling yourself on your own personal website via your own personal channels, and you then you can truly maximize the value.
So I have a hero product. I have a number one bestseller that I know that's the entry point for most new customers.
Yeah.
And this is where it really helps to understand segmenting and have a really clear idea of new versus returning customers and how they shop. So if I've got one product that I know does really well with my first-time customers, I want to put that on as many marketplaces as possible intentionally so that I could acquire new customers and then ideally funnel them directly into my website for repeat purchases.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this idea, and I love that they just codified as a recommendation officially by Shopify in this trends report.
I mean, so I took a bunch of notes that we can talk about. Just to start with, this is random. Is a random stat. The average cost of a shipping container is now 4 times higher than it was a year ago.
I mean, we knew
all that.
We knew it, but it hurts to see.
There's an actual codified thing I learned. So, and then one of the takeaways was, so you all know what's going on with third-party cookies. Everyone complains about iOS 15. Is 15 the bad iOS that we don't like now?
We're on iOS 15. It was iOS 14.5.
14.5.
Last summer where this started.
Yeah, wrecked everyone's tracking and claimed that it caused... Did we ever prove it really caused plummeting value of Shopify, of Facebook ads and stuff, or no?
For sure, our PPC ads became less effective, but in practice, we suspected they're better than they can report is what's going on, but they can't be what they were because it's missing a ton of data that it was using, that algorithm was using to target the ads before. Mm-hmm. But it's someone purchases, and now I can no longer attribute that to my ads. So even if the ad was successful as part of that sales funnel, I can't attribute it. So it looks worse than it was, but it's bad.
Okay. So, but I mean, it's kind of like the magic days of targeted ads. We're not in the glory days anymore, but marketers have been surviving this way for decades. I mean, you're buying ads on I Love Lucy for Lucky Strike cigarettes. They don't know how many people saw and then purchased Lucky Strike cigarettes because they saw the ad on I Love Lucy.
Unless they did post-purchase exit surveys.
I don't think they did post-purchase exit surveys in 1953. But
just the guy at the grocery store is like, hey, where'd you hear about those Lucky Strikes?
So, I mean, that's pretty much what television advertising is. Procter & Gamble built multiple billions on not knowing exactly being able to track the entire purchase process. So, I mean, it's definitely survivable.
So here's the pull quote that you grabbed from this. Said as third-party cookies phase out and advertising conversion rates continue to plummet, that's strong language, 80% of marketers will likely abandon personalization efforts by 2025. And so by personalization efforts, in this context, I read that as remarketing, which remarketing in the past, that felt like shooting fish in a barrel as far as ads go, at least relative to top of funnel. Mm-hmm. And so my middle of funnel ads are really what took the hit here. And this is flat out saying hey, 4 out of 5 people, they're going to give up on this, or marketers anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that seems a little dire, and I don't like anything that's prognosticating about how things are going to look in 3 years.
Yeah, that's so far out. especially like in an industry that moves so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think people were saying about 2020 in 2017?
I don't think anyone had global pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. So we're getting into the methods, the future methods that you should be using then. 52% of global shoppers are more likely to purchase from a company with shared values. Given this, brands should focus on customer retention and lifetime value, especially as advertising costs and uncertainty continue to climb. Prepare to invest more in your customer experience and build a community that keeps customers coming back.
I love this advice, because think about this. If I have to sit down and figure out pay-per-click ads, I think that's a much bigger ask, chore, thing, and like series of skills than it is to communicate my beliefs and my story to try and get a community going.
Yeah.
I think their advice for here's the better option will be both beneficial and easier to execute.
Yeah, I think it's a thing where, when you're buying those ads, your thought process is, how do I make someone who doesn't know my business be interested in my business? You're trying to put your mindset into someone else's. You're trying to think about what another person is thinking. For this, you just got to tell people why you love your business. You already know why you love your business. Just tell people about it. Tell people why. Like,
in doing so, you'll attract like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
And they're more likely to trust you because you essentially, for them, it's like someone held up the mirror and they went, oh, I empathize with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for a lot of brands right now, like sustainability would be a common one, like communicating that sustainability is important to you and making that part of your story, or just having your own journey in there. And if people can relate to it, it works well.
And we could debate this. I kind of found, I didn't put all these stats down. I probably should have if we're going to talk about it. But, like the stat in here, 52% of global shoppers are more likely to purchase from a company with shared values. Well, that means that 48% aren't.
Yeah,
so
flip a coin.
It's 50-50, flip a coin. And there was a lot of that type of stuff where they were like, well, 45% of people care about the sustainability of the company. It's like, oh, well, 55% of people don't. So it's sort of like, so who cares? Like, 95% of people are not buying from you anyway. So this thing where we're trying to we're going to get this slice of the salami and then we're going to slice it this way. And it's just like, how about you just try to appeal to as broad a base as possible and get the 5%?
Because the difficulty here now is without those ads, I need to be able to drive word of mouth and create community and create content. And the answer to that is to try and go niche with it. And taking that shared value approach helps you create community. All right, if I can get community, now I have a really powerful audience that's going to help market my brand. So I like those ideas. And certainly it's like, if PPC ads aren't working for you, what am I supposed to do? All right, well, they're saying here's some suggestions.
Yeah.
Plus it's trends. Like if they presented it as like, well, last year it was 30% of people cared. Now it's 52%. Oh, all right, it's moving up. But you're right. I mean, anytime in a statistics that it's 50-50.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, whatever. Random number. The cost per click for paid search ads increased by 15% between the second and third quarters of 2021. But now that I read that, between the second and the third quarter, so third quarter is July, August, and September. Are we getting Black Friday ramp up by that point in ad purchasing?
Personal experience, I don't think so.
Okay. Because I was going to say, wait a minute. Could that just be, that just happen annually maybe?
Maybe like back to school pushes it up?
Back to school pushes it up. Because it's like, no one's buying any, May, June, July.
The summer's slower. Unless you're selling bathing
suits. Mother's Day and Father's Day in there, but I mean, it's not like there's like a buying season in there.
You're saying that could be systemic, but we know ad costs have gone up consistently.
Yeah.
And they're saying it went up 15% just through part of the year. They elaborated on that in here. They said competition's the biggest obstacle to achieving growth. Privacy laws that limit marketers' ability to target ads, and consumers who are better at blocking ad interruptions. It's becoming tougher to get a decent return on advertising spend. And then they said, hey, it's up 15% just between these 2 quarters. And that's what, like, second and third quarters, you really would not expect that increase.
Well, I was trying to figure out why maybe it would systemically increase. Anytime I hear a stat, this is just me in general, this is going to come as a shock to a lot of people, but I try to call bullshit on anything I hear and figure out why it might not be true. So anytime I hear a stat like that, I'm kind of like, okay, is there a systemic reason why that might be occurring just in general and not the reason that the person citing me the stat is stating why?
That's why you're such a valuable co-host, because I'm just like, I just take it at face value.
Yeah.
Like, sign me up. I'm all in.
It's like, how come people dying of heart attacks shoveling snow was 10 times as high in January as it was in July?
Did you know that drowning deaths and ice cream sales are correlated? Ice cream will drown you.
It's true.
Lies, damn lies, and statistics. 41% of brands plan to increase investment in paid and organic search.
So they have to, because the prices are going up. So they have to increase the investment amount.
Yeah, saying we're going to spend more on paid and organic search. That's okay. We're going to spend more on Google ads.
A lot of people are spending more on cars right now. It's not because they love cars more. It's because they got to spend more money to have a car.
Well, this is saying 41%, plan to increase investment and organic search. Well, organic search, that's content, that's SEO.
Okay.
But I really read that as we're going to create more on-site content, more YouTube content, since that gets in there, will show up at the top of the results too. Harvard Business Review said, this is interesting. They said the accuracy of digital profiles that data brokers sell is dismal. The age tier was correct less than 1 in 4 times, and gender was identified correctly in well below half. So if you're like, hey, we're going to make an end run here and buy the data from data brokers, which I remember seeing like privacy people hand-wringing about data brokers. It turns out the data broker sells garbage.
I mean, I really like, they didn't get the gender right. They got the gender right less than half the time.
This is another flip a coin scenario.
Like, just pick one and it would have been better.
You know, sometimes those work just by looking at the first name. And they're like, hey, this is probably...
Yeah.
They'll make a guess as to gender based on the name. But even then, like, getting it right less than half the time, that's rough.
It's brutal. And then there was a good quote from Morgan Brown, who's the VP of Growth Marketing at Shopify. The brands that speak to everyone speak to no one. Whether brand differentiation means what the brand stands for, what the way the product is made, or the way they engage their audience, consumers are looking for differentiated experiences and brands they can connect to. So, I mean, this is the overarching theme of pretty much the first quarter of the document and our show and this show and everything.
And my belief system.
Yeah, of everything is be different. Be aggressively you. And
I love that advice.
Be aggressively yourself. And not everyone's going to like that. Fine.
That's the idea.
95% of people aren't going to buy from you anyway. The biggest TV shows on television are not watched by, 80, 90% of people. So just be aggressively you. And then the people that get picked up in that
are true fans.
Are the true fans and the people you want to be with and who want to be with you. Also, excellent dating advice.
Yeah, no, that... Morgan Brown's advice, your advice, and the theme in this report, really good advice for life, it seems.
Yeah. So, I mean, it might not be, everything's eco, we're donating money to Taiwanese dogs, like none of that stuff. That's not,
the Buy Ugly Dogs Plastic Surgery Foundation.
Yeah, exactly. Like
is who we donate 10% of our profits to.
That doesn't necessarily have to be it. You just have to find a way that you're different or a way that you speak to specific people. So it could be intense quality. It could be your manufacturing process. and all the people who are really into weird, intense, niggling little product details. Like, that could be your niche audience. Your niche audience of Kurtz.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're speaking my language. I was like, tell me more about the tolerances on this. Ooh.
Yeah, well, as you were scrolling through your photo album of different 3D prints you did yesterday and why the specific prints had specific problems and how you were going to solve for them.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
It's like, I built a tugboat. This is a special tugboat that all the 3D printers use to determine who's the best.
Well, yeah, so I like gadgets and the novelty in precision engineering. I like sustainability, and in part, sustainability is and to me, is an engineering problem to solve. I like making my own challenges. I like problems to solve. I like these stories, and I want to know, when someone has made a product, especially an entrepreneur, I want to know the thinking that went into it. I love those product videos where someone walks through their product and explains to you why they set it up the way they did. And I think you can run with that idea, and you need to develop that connection, and that's how you get that community. That is it's easy for us to go, oh yeah, community, you got to build community. This brand's missing community. This is a thing I have said a lot in the last 6 months. Mm-hmm. Easier said than done, buddy. It's not just like, oh yeah, I'll just go buy a community.
No, it's very easy for us to sit up in our concrete tower on the 5th floor in Skokie and say, well, just do this. You know, if I was the coach of an NFL team, I would just have 1 minute scoring drives the entire game. I don't understand why they only do it in the last 3 minutes of the playoff game. Kurt has no idea what I'm talking about, but
I'm smiling politely.
Chiefs, Bills.
I understand the sentiment.
So, but you just got to pick something. You got to pick a lane, and you got to go hard in that lane. You got to go hard in the paint on whatever the thing is that you are going to use to forge your identity.
I think it's got to be authentic, though.
Well, I know.
You got to believe in it.
You can't just make it up out of nowhere. But
I'm sure a handful of sociopaths can. Good for them. But for most people, it's going to be a lot easier to pick the thing that you are genuinely excited about.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Like, what excites you? Don't hide your light under a bushel and tell everyone else about what excites you and why.
I love entrepreneurship, and I love business, and I've always loved the web and e-commerce. Hence the show. That's what made it work. Because when I started it, I sure as hell didn't know what I was doing.
What a wiener.
With podcast. Oh, I know.
I love business.
I do. It's such a dork. But that's what made it work. It's that genuine enthusiasm about it.
Yeah.
Not because I was some extraordinary interview. I figured it out 400 episodes later. But, when we started, it's rough. That authenticity is key. All right. What else we got here?
So they recommend aiming for a 60-40 split between brand building actions and short-term performance marketing so you can achieve the ROI you need in the long term. Because, you need money coming in, so you probably can't completely abandon paid search ads or, something to just get butts in the door. You got to get the butt in the door in order for them to see why you're so cool. You can't just be cool on an island with no one looking at you.
I like that they were able to quantify this, because I've had this question before, and I don't really know what the answer is, right? Where they say, hey, how much time and money, so they say resources, could be your time, or it could be, you're hiring people to do it, plus you've got budget in there. It's like, how much should I be putting toward my that content creation, those community efforts, that audience building stuff, and how much should I be putting into PPC ads? And they're flat out spelling it out for us as 60-40. 60% the make money tomorrow strategy stuff, which is that audience and brand building, and then 40% that make money today strategy with PPC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wonder how they came about that, but I'll accept it, since I really did not have an answer myself. So get this. There's a interesting nugget of internal Shopify data that leaks out in here. They said, since the start of the pandemic in March 2020 until September 2021, email marketing integrations were among the most popular apps globally, according to internal Shopify data. Email and text continue to be two of the most powerful and cost-effective ways to nurture customer relationships. It's their own channels. You're not having to pay to play, at least not in the same way, not in this bidding strategy that PPC ads have, where the price to show someone an ad changes on an hourly basis versus the cost of my Klaviyo subscription is not changing particularly often, right? And so I own that relationship. It is much more personal. It is one-to-one. It is in their inbox or on their phone, in their messages. And so we knew this, but seeing it spelled out here where they're saying that this is like the biggest category of installs is fabulous. And so I think that's, and that was when iOS 14.5 happened. Yeah, that was our initial advice was, hey, keep focusing on what you can control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And your email marketing, I mean, for most brands, email marketing really is a tremendously powerful and profitable channel to drive revenue.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk today about like, creating experiences and what can we do to like get people more invested and, all this other stuff. That all starts with email. Like email's the ground floor. It's the base of the pyramid. I mean, millions of dollars and millions of businesses have run on just email alone. Like you don't need to do any of that crazy cool stuff as long as your email just kicks ass. Like
yes.
You could build a great, sustainable, huge business on just email.
And even if you're not doing email and you start mediocre email, still way better than nothing at all.
Than no email.
Because it keeps you top of mind. Mm-hmm. You're in the right place at the right time, ideally. And on the flip side, there is this pressure to use all the tools available to you with marketing automation. And in email, you could get really crazy with it. And I've heard people say like, well, maybe, is that weird? Should I do that? Is it creepy? And in here, there's a note about that. It said consumers are over 3 times more likely to abandon brands that, quote, over-personalize compared to brands that fail to personalize enough. So including too much personal data in customized communication can make consumers feel stalked by brands. Now, I don't know.
I've had that happen. I hate that.
I don't know where the line is. Off the top of your head, could you think of an example scenario?
Well, I think let's just go with the most basic one. I think saying they send you an email and it has like your name in the email field.
Okay.
It's addressed to Kurt.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Stuff where they're like, hey, I saw you were looking at this product, and let me tell you more about why you should buy this product that I know that you were looking at.
Acknowledging.
Don't like that.
I have found if you acknowledge the trigger to the email,
I think
your unsubscribe rate will jump.
Yeah. I think no one wants to see the man behind the curtain. Like, if they happen to get more ads about washing machines or whatever, that's just a happy accident. Who knows? That's just the world we live in. But if they're just like, hey, Kurt, I know you like washing machines. Here's some washing machines I'd like you to buy. I know all about your home in Northern Illinois in Lake County, and it needs a new washing machine, doesn't it? Like, no, don't do that. I mean, it's the same outcome. You're showing them washing machines.
I know.
But don't expose the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, because the next step is like, look, you're going to buy an appliance or we'll kill your family. Like, that's what they're thinking. Yeah, you're right. There is a fine line where it goes from this is relevant to this is creepy.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is if it has this meta layer to it where you acknowledge that like you person did X action that triggered this marketing event. Ooh. Yeah, I just let it be a bit of a mystery, right?
Yeah. And like, send that abandoned product email. Maybe wait a little bit. Don't send it like 5 minutes later. Like, where'd you go? I thought we had something nice going on between us.
On Black Friday, crank it up to 30 minutes.
Why did you suddenly ghost me? That's abusive. You were love bombing me.
Wow. This abandoned cart flow got weird fast. It's going to start gaslighting you.
That's right.
And the final call out that you had listed in here that I thought was great. This is the exact quote. Video is now the default expression of the internet. I love that phrase. Video is the default expression of the internet. From web searches to live streams, video is becoming the primary way Video is becoming the primary way the next generation of shoppers make buying decisions. 46% of consumers want to watch product videos before they buy.
See, now I like that stat because if you think about the flip side of it, I don't think there's anyone's going, if I see a product video, I'm closing that tab right away.
I'm out.
I'm out. It's 46% want a product video and 54% don't care. So the product video is not hurting you. No one's going, product video, get out of here.
Yeah, this is like the CRO hack hidden in here is, hey, you should add product videos to at least your hero product.
Yeah, which you're selling on a marketplace to rope people in.
Yes. So yeah, there is a fair amount of strategy worked into this.
Marketplace, this is the thing that cited that. Marketplaces are an effective channel for many DTC businesses to get new eyes on their products, yet 44% of brands report the biggest challenges selling on marketplaces are competing on price and controlling the customer experience. Use a hero product to reach new customers, then incentivize shoppers to move to your site by creating store-only offers.
That's smart.
Yeah. So, maybe your big main product is on a marketplace. You sell that on Amazon. But the accessories, the new version that's better, sell that only on your own website. Maybe you dump off your old product on Amazon. I realize that's not a hero product, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I want... And I've done this, or I've seen this. Like I bought an item, and you buy an item, and it'll come with a pack-in. And the pack-in will be like, hey, you could register. Hey, like it gives me some reason
and that would be my
to
way,
go visit their website.
And that would be, I've seen that multiple times too. That would be the way I would handle it because when you're selling on Amazon, you don't get the email addresses. So you have no people to kind of guide their way to you. Doesn't Amazon disallow that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are terms of service restrictions on... And as there should be on the pack-ins, because otherwise it's stuff like, hey, write us a review, and then we'll send you a free gift.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, no,
But that is a question I would like an answer to, because I hope you know it. If I'm selling my hero product on Amazon, and I want to get people to my actual Shopify store, how do I do that?
I think the safe... So I don't know. I'm not an Amazon expert, straight up. Don't know. Double check all of anything. But I think the safe way to do it would be like, register your product with us on our site for, some level of support. I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
Or like some, mild accessory or reward, or like, hey, you could download the PDF. I don't know. But you give them a reason to go to your website and identify themselves as that buyer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe your product comes in a box. Then in that box you could just have a thing that's like, here's our website.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe we're
overthinking
it. I think one of the nice parts about the Shopify Trends Report is it is supported by a lot of examples and commentary from actual merchants, from real deal store owners, as opposed to just like it's survey data. Just trust us, it's survey data, or this industry analyst said so.
Yeah, or like, we talked to this weird boutique marketing agency that's like in Miami and you've never heard of. It only works with high-end SoundCloud rappers
on Thursdays.
On Thursdays about what the future of commerce is. It's like they're not dealing with actual people. Like they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're living in their own special niche reality.
Yeah.
Was there any larger macro trends in this report? It seemed like there was a lot of focus.
I told you about them. That was the whole point of this show, dude. Have you not been paying attention?
I've been paying very careful attention. I hang on your every word, Paul Rita. It seems like they're saying, hey, look, PPC ads are more expensive than ever and not sustainable as a model, just because supply and demand of advertisers versus consumer eyeballs. And so the suggestion that it keeps getting more expensive, and that's creating competition. And so the solution is similar to what we've seen in TV, where like streaming services just created increasingly niche and weird shows. The same thing works for brands, and then you could find your tribe and create that loyal audience. Now, in the past, that was advice for like, this is the stepping stone for e-commerce entrepreneurship. Now it's becoming, this is the mainstream way to do it.
Yeah, I think the cable TV metaphor is a good one. It's just like, Turner Classic Movies, they know who they're pitching towards. And like, we're just going to pitch to those people. A ton of stations are like that. Yeah, I think the one sentence takeaway from all of this is, in order to succeed in the future, you need to really personalize your brand around what it means and what it stands for, and find a like-minded group of people that you forge like a brand friendship with. But don't do it too hard because they'll run away.
Well, yeah, don't do it. Yeah, you want to be speaking one to many. As soon as it gets to like two one-on-one.
You can't use the robots to make it one-on-one because they know the robot's there and they don't like it.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I just, I don't want Alexa listening in on me any more than she does. She's listening to us right now. If you want to check out the Shopify Future of Commerce Trends Report, and I highly recommend you do, grab the link in the show notes or Google Shopify Future of Commerce. You will find it immediately.
We're done.